3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Welcome to the Wednesday night Dennis and Andy show edition. I'm Dennis, and this is... Dude, you're up. Dude? Hello? Dude?
Dude, I'm a ninja. I'm invisible. Ninjas are invisible.
Oh, you're like Drax when he was invisible. I understand.
Yeah, man, you can't see me.
Nope, nobody else can. Look at, so I'm hosting this show alone apparently. There's nobody here other than me.
Until I do this.
Oh, there you are.
That's right. And now, I'm not even Andy anymore. I'm Clark Kent.
Yeah, that works so well.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
Like Dennis said, welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Dennis and Andy Show. We're so glad you're here joining us. I want to keep this, I kind of like the way this looks.
You should.
Yeah, look pretty good with that, whatever you would call it, ninja mask up. Anyhow, we've got lots of fun stuff to talk about. Thank you for joining us. First up, you never thought this would happen, but there is a little football talk.
I know, it's wrong time of the season.
Little Dallas Cowboys talk. Dak Prescott has signed a mega deal. But is he worth it?
No. No, I saw it at the gym today and it came up. And I know this because he was my starting quarterback for fantasy football. He didn't help you get wins. He didn't help me get wins. And I expected them to sign it. I'm going to be honest, I did. I sure did not expect that kind of money for him. I
got to be honest. Obviously, if you know the show, you know me. I'm a Cowboys fan. I like Dak. I wouldn't have shouted out either because I think you could have, you're taking a chance that he comes back 100% after that injury, which is not guaranteed. You're tying up money. These deals, and this goes for baseball, basketball, all the sports. These deals are getting so ridiculous, and I don't like, and I'm being serious when I compare it to like government spending, because it's just like money means nothing. They're just looking at these, they're just writing it on paper, and it's like, oh, this doesn't mean anything. We'll just print more. We'll just print more until it's worthless.
So the issue that I have is, I'm not saying that sometimes they shouldn't go up, the paychecks go up. I mean, they're important. But you know what? This was a COVID year. Nobody was at the stadiums. Revenue is down across the board. Attendance is down. Viewership is down. So, and if anything, the money that they were making should have proportionally gone down. I don't understand what the Cowboys were thinking. They must obviously think way more of him than they thought of Russell Wilson, who was trying to get to the Cowboys.
Well, and I tell you what, I actually look at it like this. I would have easily played the bluff game and been like, and I don't know, relatively speaking, what low numbers are. Like, I don't know if Jerry came out and said, I tell you what, 4 years, 100 million, 80 guaranteed, just to see what he says. Because if he balks at it, go, okay, 110. And if he really balks at it, go, bye. And call his bluff. Bye. Take a walk, Dad. Bye.
I would have been like, hey, Andy Dalton, how about you? How much?
Yeah.
Or I would have been, hey, Russell Wilson, so you really want to leave there?
Yeah.
Do you need Dak money? No? Okay, come to a team that you have potential with.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous, this kind of money. So anyhow, that's the football news. Being a Cowboys fan, I'm not even on board with paying him $160 million. I think 120 something's guaranteed. I mean, it's just crazy.
And if he gets injured again, well, go Washington.
No, let's not say that. All right, moving on to fun stuff. It's comic book day. So as usual, what did the boys get? And we talk about some of the new books that came out. Let's see.
Blade Runner Origins.
Ooh.
Now, this one kind of struck my fancy. The art looked pretty decent, and we're going to start dealing with the origins, and I'm thinking it's going to be dealing with the Terrell Corporation. So this one kind of interests me. I picked it up. I'm looking forward. Hopefully, it's going to be a decent story. I think this will probably be one we're going to do. Have to do a review on at some point, maybe this next week, because this looks good.
All right, we'll see. I've never been a huge Blade Runner fan, so that could be a one-in review, as in you read it and tell me if it's any good. It could be the review where you have to sell me on it.
Yeah, that might be.
So this, of course, Wolverine, Dennis book.
That's a Dennis book.
Yeah, it's an anthology. They always mix around the creators and stuff. So, you know, I don't get it. Not from the standpoint of I don't get what they're trying to do. I don't pick the book up. Dennis does. I've scaled back a lot on what I get. Spider-Man, if he can't do it, no one can. So this is it. New costume, new job, new Spider era begins here. Nick Spencer, Pat Gleason, Dennis and I both bought this book. I'll be honest, I bought it. You sucked me in with the new job, new costume. It's a jumping on point. It is almost a number one, 61.
Almost.
So, well, but you know, if you're going to start with a new storyline, it's better than 64, 68.
Yeah, that's true.
61.
We'll see what they do with it. I mean, I bought it too. They sucked me in with the new costume. Hopefully, there's a good story behind it, and it's not just a regular old costume change.
I'm looking. I like Pat's art, so that's another reason I got it. I hope however long this story arc is, he does it all, because I don't know if Pat's drawn more than 2 issues of Spider-Man back to back. So I don't know if it's a scheduling thing. I don't know any of the behind the scenes stuff. So I hope whatever the storyline is, Pat draws it all so it's consistent. So we'll see. We'll review that one next week. Star Wars is a Dennis book. I don't get any of the Star Wars stuff.
It's been solid. It's definitely better than what's going on elsewhere. So I've been hanging on to that book. It's been solid.
All right. Could it be a movie?
No.
X Factor.
Yeah, it's a Dennis book.
Dennis book. If it's got an X in the title,
it's mine.
He's getting it. Deep Beyond is a book that Dennis got and said you should read. So we actually did, and we reviewed it. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you might have.
2 weeks ago.
If you didn't, just go back and check out our earlier episode on our YouTube page, because they're all archived there. We loved the first one. It was a solid book, and we did a YouTube quick flip through it, and so you can find that on YouTube as well. The art looks good. I'm thinking the story, just at first glance, it looks like it's going to be solid. We may wind up doing a review to let everybody know if it kept up the quality of the first one. Yeah,
it takes place 85 years in the future. I think living on top planet, you could call it, on the actual, like, most of it's below Earth, isn't it? Or no, not below Earth, but they have to stay kind of inside because I don't remember things.
It's in the water, yeah. They're dome cities.
There you go, dome cities, sci-fi. So we'll see where it goes. This is another one we reviewed that same night, I believe. Maniac of New York. Dude's a serial killer, if you can't tell. Got a cool knife. Basically, New York has just given up, I guess, and been like, look, there's not much we can do about this guy. He killed 70 to 80 some people New Year's Eve, and they just kind of gave up. Yeah. But then that looked like they're doing something. They created a task force of one.
Which we did a full review on that book, and we both liked it. It was another one. Again, we were like, the art, to me, wasn't my favorite, but it fit the storytelling so well.
Right.
And I did a YouTube quick flip on that one as well. So you can always check out the 30-second preview on that. But yeah, I think we may do a review on this one and also see if that one's going to continue to hold muster.
Yep, it fits the tone of the story nicely. The art does. So we'll see. I'm looking forward. Number 1 had a nice cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I like this better than Deep Beyond. So if I had to pick one, this is one I picked up today. Carmen by Gilliam March, who I first discovered at DC. He's been at DC for a long time, working on Batman stuff. Mostly, he's worked on other things, mostly Batman. This is his creator-owned book. I believe it came out overseas because he's not from the States first. I think it did as like a hardcover, and now it's being re-released here. I'm not sure though. That's what I heard from the comic shop, so I was asking about it. I like his art style, and just flipping through it, it looks very interesting. So we'll probably be doing a review of this one as well.
Yeah, we did a short on it, a quick flip, and it definitely looks different. It isn't one that I picked up because mainly they didn't have a number 1. And after looking at Andy's copy, I'm like, that looks kind of interesting. So I'll read it and find out. Maybe I go out and hunt for a number 1.
Truth be told, Dennis thought it looked interesting because there's boobies in it. So
yes, because I am super shallow that way.
There's naked boob. Oh, I am. I mean, that's
everybody knows that. They didn't know that about me.
Oh, okay. I'm more shallow than a tub filled with an inch of water.
That really a whole inch?
Maybe not.
I was maybe like a half an inch.
I'd go 1/8.
Yeah.
So I don't know what. So Dennis, a little behind the scenes, little behind the scenes action. Dennis loads the images for the show. So I don't know what the deal is with this chick. I know it's Star Wars, but I don't know what's going on here.
All right. So Andy doesn't know much about this, so I said I would kind of talk about it. This is all dealing with Star Wars, The High Republic, which we've reviewed and we've talked about earlier. They're coming out with a brand new storyline character. So I couldn't find the character. The captain of the ship that you see is actually, he looks a lot like Matthew McConaughey. All right, don't remember his name. It's really unimportant.
Okay.
He's the captain of a vessel called the Vessel.
Okay.
So that's the name of the ship.
I mean, I don't know.
His co-pilot is The Rock.
Dwayne Johnson?
His name is Geode.
It's a literal. It
is a literal.
How does it move?
Literal rock. That is the $1 million question. He's nimble and agile.
You're making that up.
No, I literally. So it's all over right now. I literally thought it was Babylon Bee, The Onion. I thought it was a joke well before April Fool's Day. That is literally the character as the co-pilot. And they thought, so I wish we had the video. You can go find on StarWars.com. You can actually watch the entire video. And they're so proud of these characters. The women that were presenting it are like, these are amazing. These are great. This is a fantastic character. It is literally a rock. It is not a joke. Who is the co-pilot of the vessel?
Does it talk?
We don't know. There are no lips.
Well, I know that.
There are no nothing. We do not know how it is a rock.
It's...
So my only thought would be...
I mean, if it's the size of a human, I'd call it a boulder for one.
Because
a rock is...
It is.
Tiny.
It is.
I'd call it a boulder.
So we don't know if and how it communicates or listens or interacts, or does it literally sit there? Now, the one thing I will say is the name of it is Geode. In my world, a geode is something, if you crack it open, there's something in there. Is it going to be kyber crystals? I don't know. Trying to figure out. I had this as a kid.
Sure.
A pet rock.
Everybody did.
And literally, I swear, their creative team sat there and went, oh, hey, I had a rock, or my friend had a rock, or my parents had a pet rock. Why would that not make a great Star Wars character?
What is, like, Chewbacca's got nothing to worry about. He's by far always going to be the best co-pilot.
Right.
I mean, George Lucas, I mean, as far as I know, he doesn't have to greenlight anything because he sold it.
Yeah.
So all he can do is sit back and go, "Oh my God, are
Literally.
you effing kidding me? You guys are making a goddamn rock a co-pilot? What in the?"
And touting
What are
it
you
like
doing?
it's this incredible genius breakthrough of storytelling and character creation. All right, we're not talking something like
No,
Ben Grimm,
no,
who is
well,
like
but-
the Thing.
Well, I was also say Thor Ragnarok has that creature,
Right.
the Aussie sounding creature that is
Right.
looks like that'd be cool.
And Galaxy Quest, if we're all Galaxy Quest
Oh, yeah,
friends,
yeah,
the
yeah.
rock creature, they're all cool. That would be kind of cool. This is literally. Now, when I think of rock, Andy was like, what in the hell is
I'm
that?
like, what does this have to do with anything?
So this one and the next picture, these are of the Horta, which in Star Wars, this
Star
is
Trek.
a rock-based, or Star Trek, it's a rock-based
Hold on.
step.
I cannot believe you got Star Wars and Star Trek mixed up like that.
That's
You
why
dirty-
I've got this here, and I'm thinking, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But this is the Horta from Star Trek. They are a rock-like creature, which was an interesting episode that literally burrows through solid rock and travels through it as quickly as humans do walking through air,
Okay,
right?
Sure.
So when they have created a rock creature for sci-fi, the Horta, and actually Mr. Spock winds up eventually mind melding with it and everything like that. And that's kind of the next picture.
Hey, Doja Coin. Hey, Andy, do you do art commissions? Yes, I do. Thank you for asking. Just shoot me an email at andysmithart@yahoo.com. Thanks for joining the show and asking. Yeah, that is just a lame. I mean, like this actually at least looks kind of interesting.
Right. In order to save this creature, Dr. McCoy actually has to patch it up. And with a rock-based, silicone-based, because it's not a carbon-based life form like
Right.
we are.
Right.
There was interesting story, and it was more than rock, and it had feelings to communicate. That's Star Trek, and it was very well done. This, for the Geode, seriously, as a character, they're creatively bankrupt, I swear. I have zero interest, and actually, I'm already subscribed. So after the next issue, I may just have to walk away from Star Wars because I can't do it anymore. I'm serious. I just can't.
So that is just, I don't know. I mean, I really hate bagging on stuff, but I'd like to know who came up with it because I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to have been around that table for the brainstorm session of that because it's just
Right.
it's just dumb.
So think about it from the comic book creation standpoint. You sit down, you're drawing, your writer has sat down and come up with these ideas. You guys sit there and discuss things and go through. If he said, Andy, I want you to draw a rock for a co-pilot.
That's not what I would have thought of. I would have been like, oh, you mean an interpretation of like the Thing, and I would have probably mentioned a couple other rock type characters. I would have been like, you mean like an amalgamation of those characters? No.
Yeah.
Just a rock that sits there. No
Right.
arms, no legs. Oh, but it has like a mouth. So it like no.
Right.
No. Go find something in your backyard and draw that.
Well, seriously, think about this. So when you're pushing something like this and you're Star Wars, what do you think about? I want it to be a show. I want it to be a comic book. I'm going to make action figures because I want to license this. So you've literally now created a character that I just showed you, the pet rock. Literally, I can go out to my backyard, or I can come over to yours and dig through your garden and pull out a rock, stick it in a blister pack, and go, there's Geode.
There's Geode. Yeah.
Seriously, I mean,
That's dumb.
it is dumb. And like I said, I really thought this was a joke, but it's not. They're very proud of this creation.
Right. Well, I would be too. It's awesome. All right. Well, we're done with the pet rock. Do a little show and tell. And so the camera's right there. See, you can see it, so you know where to show it.
I know.
See?
Right?
Well, I'm just saying, you had a little issue before.
I did.
Well,
it was on the little screen.
Just trying to help
So I got my YT 1300 Millennium Falcon. So it's by Haynes, and I got the Enterprise. I've got the Klingons, the Bird of Prey, and stuff like this. So I did see this, and these are Haynes. These are like the good old car manuals and stuff like this. So I wound up picking it up, and I just had to bring it over. It just came in the mail, and it goes through the history of what they're all about. It's really cool. It is really cool. I'm going to admit that when I got my Star Trek ones, I was like, hey, this is high quality stuff. You can actually see what the this is Lando, so it's the Millennium Falcon. It's actually got the pod and stuff that's on the front. This is a solid quality book. It's got line art in terms of blueprints. It's got full colors on it. It talks about the crews. It goes into like the laser weapons and everything like that. This is a really, really quality book. If you guys are kind of fans of this type of stuff, I can't draw worth a crap, but I love technical stuff. And this winds up being really good, a good technical book. I recommend it. So anyway, I kind of brought this just as a quick show. Some of you already may have it, but this is fun.
And what's the old cover price on that?
The cover price is $24.99.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad. It's a hardcover. Good sounding. It's yeah.
And now Dennis can work on a Millennium Falcon. So if you think you're cool because you can go pop the hood on your car and do some stuff, or get underneath and change the oil, whoopee, he can work on the Millennium Falcon.
The sad thing is, I used to read the technical manuals, and I have all the original Star Trek ones. I could tell you every starship, all the warp speeds, the shielding rates. You named it. I could do it. I could, if it was real. I was so involved, I could work on it.
If it was real. If it was real.
It's kind of like Star Wars, where it's in a galaxy far, far away.
Exactly. In the future. All right. So what should we talk about first? Avengers 43.
Yeah. So we got Avengers came out. We're going to give it the review. This is the Phoenix, Enter the Phoenix Part 4.
You mean this one right here?
We were not overly impressed with the storyline. We did a review on it. They're really screwing with.
So basically, it's let's decide who should be the welder, the holder, the wielder of the Phoenix Force, and it's kind of like in wrestling where oh my God, I used to watch wrestling. Why am I blanking on the term?
Because you have no memory.
Well, I don't. I'm like a shitty computer. When all the wrestlers get in the ring at the same time. There's the word for it. It's not a brawl.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania is just an event.
The cage match.
Okay, we'll call it a cage match.
The Royal Rumble.
It's like the Royal Rumble with the Avengers, and they're fighting each other as they get the Phoenix Force. So the issue starts off, I've said from day one, because I borrowed Dennis's issues to read, the art is gorgeous. I really love the art, but the story for me just falls flat and does nothing for me. And it's kind of like going to see a big budget. It's like seeing a Michael Bay movie, because you're going to be wowed with the visuals.
Right.
But you're going to walk out going, well, what was the story like? And you're like, the visuals were awesome.
Right.
Well, no, but
Battleship.
We'll just use Battleship. Yeah, it was like Battleship. This is like Battleship. The visuals are awesome.
It's got the characters. It's got good actors in it. It's got fantastic special effects.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, it's Liam Neeson. How bad can it be?
Right.
And it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, you got Wolverine here fighting T'Challa in their Phoenix costumes. But I'm just like, you actually read it and you're just like, it's going to come down to two people fighting, because that's what they're doing. They're weeding it down. So it's like, Wolverine and T'Challa fight. The winner moves on, and they've had all these fights. And I think also in this issue we've got if I remember it right, She-Hulk fighting. Oh crap! Who's she fighting in this one? Valkyrie.
Yeah, it was
who is Jane
Valkyrie.
Foster?
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah. It's Jane Foster.
So fighting Jane Foster. It's like, okay, I would think She-Hulk would beat the crap out of Jane Foster if they both have like this Phoenix Force that boosts them up some.
Right.
But she doesn't. Spoiler alert.
Because it's all about, Namor thinks he's the one who deserves it, and who are they really there for? And I'm like, if all of this were true, the Phoenix Force would have just flown in and said, he's the one I want, boop, and I'm just going to take him over.
Right. The Phoenix Force wouldn't have a
tournament.
A tournament, yeah.
I mean, seriously, this is like a poor lead into Contest of Champions. We kind of talked about that on our previous one. And the other thing that they hinted at was, well, are we going to redo the origin of Thor? Because they were like, oh, Thor, too bad you don't know the truth. I'm actually your mother. And we're like, no, there's no way. Can that really be? I mean, we Freya, come on. I mean, we know what this is all supposed to be about.
Right.
Well, guess what? They talk about it in here, and you know what?
They did it.
They did it. The Phoenix
did
is Thor's mother, and I just went, F me.
Talk about retconning something.
Yeah.
And once again, for the Phoenix to embody this woman from, hundreds of thousands of years ago, I don't think that's what women looked like back then. Just saying.
Yeah. So
I guess the Phoenix Force makes you beautiful as well.
I'm just going to say, I'm glad there's only one more issue because, I will pick it up because it's Phoenix. The Phoenix Force was this really cool, mysterious entity that is at the heart of the universe.
Right.
It's as old as sin. And I mean, it was a really cool thing. And they have developed it in a number of different ways that always made sense.
Right.
This, it was like Marvel goes, you know what? Let's just throw that to use that as an excuse, and we're just going to retcon stuff, and we're just going to use it as a cash grab.
Yep.
I love Jason Aaron normally, but this is crap. This is crap. I will pick up the last one to finish out the story, and we'll review it. But I am so not impressed. I'm done with Avengers as soon as the next one comes out. I can't stand it this much. I'm done. I'm done.
Well, you got me to read it. I'm just glad I borrowed yours and didn't have to pay for them. So thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's all, to me, it's just all Flash. And I don't mean the cool DC character. I like stuff. I've bought stuff for art before, but the whole concept didn't really appeal to me. Dennis bought it. He's like, you got to read this. I got to confirm that I'm not the only one thinking this way. And I'm like, okay, I'll read it.
Yeah. The good news is we got a couple of books that are of good quality.
Home runs.
That are out there. Yeah. So, we should give our CGC grading on this.
The issue or?
Well, we'll do a final one after the next issue. So this is just for this issue. The art was fine. We've never had a problem with the art. It looks good. I'm not fond of the costume design. Andy likes it.
I like some of them, not all of them.
Yeah.
I don't like Wolverines.
But this story is just crap. I'm giving this issue a 2.0. And that's only because of the art.
I'm not that bad. I'd probably say it's a 4.5. The ending of this one, and we won't spoil it, but it does because there's only one issue left in the story. The ending does come down to who the final two are to battle to see who will wield the Phoenix Force. Two characters.
Wait for the dollar bin.
It's two characters that will not surprise you. But yeah, I mean, unless you're dying to get this, just wait. It'll be in a dollar bin in the next couple months, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
which one are we going to review next, Andy?
We're going to go with this one. I'm just going to show it. Nocterra.
Yeah.
Nocterra came out last week, written by Scott Snyder of DC fame, Batman, Death Metal. that good stuff. Tony Daniel, also DC fame, most notably known for Batman. They brought the colorist along, Tomei Morey. Nocterra, always visuals grab me. I like what Scott Snyder's done at DC. I like Tony's art, so I was like, I'll give it a shot. What's it about, Dennis?
This one, and I agree right away. As soon as we're debating if we were going to open up, I like the cover. But as soon as I opened up and started looking at the artwork, I was like, I like this. I mean, this just looked well done. And I said, well, this is enough for me to read it without even knowing what it was about. We find out that the world goes dark. We don't know why. One day the sun disappeared. Well, that's really interesting, because why would the sun just disappear? Well, if there's no sun, what happens to all the vegetation?
It dies.
Right. That's what you would think. But no, it mutates without light, just like the people do.
But that, after a certain amount of time, yeah.
Right. You
adjust, you adapt.
Except that the people, if they don't have contact with light over a certain undisclosed period of time, they turn into monsters that are called the Shade.
Hey, sit in frame. We'd like to see you. See, look at your little. There you go.
So I'm just saying that it's kind of an interesting. So it takes place about a main character's Val, who's partly blind, and drives a truck, basically like a big semi, and has to transport people full of lights and stuff like that. Drives like the big semis. They take refugees and
basically take them to a safe zone,
right?
You could say.
Yes, they have safe, and that's why your cities and stuff, they all have constant light and everything that's on it. What's interesting is I got the flavor, the feel that this is kind of like The Walking Dead in a way, but instead of the undead, they turn into the monsters. So it's a bit of a twist, but it is kind of a post-apocalyptic, again, as we've been saying. So the one thing that I'll say as a genre in general, there's so many, dystopian type of comics and movies and shows that it's starting to get a little bit redundant. Right. This is kind of a fresh take. Right. The story is great. The art is great. I couldn't put it down. Once I started reading it, I liked everything about this.
We get some nice action. There's nice setup, of course, to introduce the characters, to get you involved into their world, to make you care about them. This is that girl Val grown up. Like Dennis said, she drives this rig. She transports people in the back of the rig. There's the creatures that have evolved. So there's some nice fighting going on with that, some nice action sequences. Tony's storytelling I've always enjoyed. He's doing more of a cinematic approach with the horizontal panels, which I think is very cool. Brian Hitch really brought that into popularity back on I think Stormwatch and Authority, and definitely the Ultimates, 20 some years ago. It's a cool way to tell a story, keeping the panels in this letterbox shape, because it does give you the feel of a movie.
Yeah.
There's a nice shot right there. The creature. Val has powers. This is a great spread. They get to the city, that's safe. And then she's basically, she goes, I love that truck stop. She goes, and this is kind of typical, she goes basically to collect some pay, wants to pick up another job, finally we get a nice full shot of her. I thought that was really cool. It's after a lot of the storytelling with the horizontal panels, were, like I said, very cinematic, to kind of change over once they get into the city and then do more, traditional type of the big shot and stuff is cool. And he saved the big reveal, and it pays off that way, because if he did it earlier in the story, it might have been a little too soon. So he saves it. I thought that was cool. I like the costume design because it's it's like Mad Max, but at night in a way, apocalyptic. She's kind of tracked down by these we don't want to ruin everything, so I'm just getting past some stuff. Where is it? Oh yeah, here we go. She's tracked down by that's not dad and daughter, is it? That's what I thought. Yeah, no, it's not. But anyhow, they want to leave the city.
Yeah.
And she's like,
everybody's trying to get in.
Everybody's trying to get in, and these two want to leave, want to get out. So, it's one of those things where it's like, well, we'll pay you. No, I don't want to do it. Well, we'll pay you, blah, blah, blah. Oh.
Then I'll do it.
Then I'll do it. And then this character is introduced, which is just, total silhouette, which is kind of neat. And, he's got an ability. He's got some abilities too. So, it ends on a nice cliffhanger. I don't even want to read the last balloon because it would give something away. But it's a good read. It was good. I'm really looking forward to the next issue to see where it goes.
I wound up picking up the variant cover. I liked them both. And I don't know why I really liked this one. I did. I just thought it was a really decent cover. Yeah, I'm glad I watched it. This has been added to my list, my weekly poll.
Now, I'm guessing I don't get Previews catalog anymore, so I don't know. I don't know if it's a mini. I'm assuming it's a mini series. Or it's going to be. I think. Oh, go ahead.
I think it's going to start off as a monthly. We'll see how it sells.
I think what I mean is I think after the first story arc, whether it's 4 issues or 6 issues, and I don't know this, but this is how it seems books like these are going: is you do the first story arc, 4 to 6 issues, and then there's a volume 2 that starts over with another one that comes back, 4 to 5 months later.
It's like,
so there's a gap between.
Yeah, it's like Vampire the Masquerade. They do them usually in 4 or 6 issue stories, and then it'll just continue the next one. So it could,
yeah. And I don't know if that's what they're doing. I'm just once again assuming that could be the way they're going.
Yep.
So,
and then CGC rating.
Oh yeah, CGC rating. I give it I'll go. Man, I'm waffling in my head between 2 things. I'll just go 9. I was going to say 8.5, but because I don't want to be. I've given some 9s more. It seems more often, and I don't want to be that guy.
So you're just lowering it.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy, but I really did enjoy it, and and a lot of it's the art. I'm a fan of Tony's artwork.
Yeah.
So.
And I like the story and I like the art. I enjoyed it all the way through. I didn't love it, like I wasn't jumping up and down going, oh, giddy, giddy, giddy. But I enjoyed it well enough where I'm going to keep it. I'm giving it an 8.5. It was a really decent first issue. I don't think we could have asked for a whole lot more. The story was well paced. It was well written. It was believable dialogue. The art fit again, and it was a good mesh between the two. So, yeah, 8.5, I would definitely recommend reading it.
Yeah, and back to the art, I think Tony and I always think, great superhero artist. And this isn't a superhero book, it's sci-fi, but, and it shows, and Tony's a versatile artist anyhow, but it shows that he can pull this off just as well as tackling, a Batman or a mainstream thing. So
yeah,
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
Next up,
BRZRKR. Woo!
BRZRKR.
Keanu Reeves, who's not only helping write it, but really is the main character, it looks like.
Oh yeah.
It was great. Matt Kindt, we kind of teased it in one of our YouTube quick flips. Yeah, it looks great. Ron Garney, Bill Crabtree. So it's a collaborative work, and Andy and I had talked about this earlier. Because we did the it was Indiegogo, right? I think it.
Yeah, there was a Kickstarter.
It was Kickstarter.
Indiegogo.
It's one of the two of them.
I think it was Kickstarter. I don't remember. It was Kickstarter.
Okay.
There's a Kickstarter campaign last fall, end of summer, fall, something like that. And it was for the three volume set, because it's going to be basically 12 issues. And it was for a hardcover for each volume. So I backed it at the level to get all 3 hardcovers, knowing that the first hardcover I won't get until September of this year. And I think spring of 2022 is the second hardcover, and fall of 2022 is the third hardcover. I got to be honest, maybe I didn't read it in the description and I passed over it, because I don't like to read.
We know.
There's got to be lots of
pictures. It's just pictures.
But I didn't know it was coming out monthly as well. Now I've heard some rumblings from some people about, well, you really shouldn't put a product out. If people back it, they should be the first ones to get it. But if you're backing it at the hardcover collection level, if the company's like, look, we're putting it out as single issues, that's cool. You don't have to buy it. And in full honesty, because I backed it, I got the digital edition. So I don't have to buy the single issue unless I want the print copy like Dennis got. So Dennis got the print copy and the digital. I just got the digital. So I was able to read it, so we can review it. I don't know if I'm going to keep reading it, though, because I don't know. I kind of want to wait, but it was so good. And it had such a great cliffhanger. And, once again, a friend of mine in the business, Ron Garney, he's the artist on it. I probably would have got it regardless of the Kickstarter. I love Ron Garney's artwork. It's really grown over the years with his style, and his style really fits this book because it's raw. It's visceral. This character Berserker is just this visceral badass.
Yeah.
It's like you think John Wick's a badass because Keanu Reeves. This guy makes John Wick look just like a pussy.
So the premise behind this is different. Andy's more of a superhero guy. I'm kind of cross genre because I like science fiction. I like spacey stuff, things like that.
Did you say cross-dressing?
No. We aren't talking about your personal life.
Oh, I thought I heard you say cross-dressing.
No. What was cool is as soon as the book opens, I mean, the art caught me right away. And I was just like, oh, this is going to be a book. I can already tell. There's going to be some words, but I knew right away the story is going to be told through pictures. It's like an Andy book. Not a lot of story in terms of words, but the story is told through the pictures and told very well.
Well, and I think that's one thing that makes it so good is, you can have stories like a Chris Claremont book where Chris writes a lot of dialogue and you're just like engrossed and you're just like, oh my God. And then you can have a book like this that is not much dialogue, not much text. All this storytelling is done through the art, and it just pulls you in. And just, panel layouts like this where the panels are tilted subtly and stuff to kind of give you a little bit of jarring as you're reading it. Ron is just one of the top-notch storytellers.
And Ron draws this main character, and this is what I liked about it. He looks just like Keanu. I mean, he obviously drew Keanu Reeves for a reason. And the cool thing about it is the entire book is like it's like the opening scene of a movie. It's just one big old action scene. Literally, they jump. He doesn't even wait for parachutes or anything else. Everybody else is hopping on the ropes. He just jumps out. And by the time the other guys even get down there, he's basically wiped out all of the opponents. We don't want to call them bad guys. And it's Quentin Tarantino kind of blood level.
Well, look at this. This last panel right here at the bottom of the page, he puts his fist right through a dude's face.
Yes.
I mean, it is not for the faint of heart. And, it's a comic book. So it's not like, of course, I wouldn't show this to a 12-year-old.
Right. It's like the last 20 minutes of Hateful Eight. It's blood and gore everywhere.
But it just shows, though, I don't think it's done for just to do it purposes. It's all about showing how badass this character is, how visceral he is. And in the end is where this issue really pays off. And, I'm not going to scroll to the end because I don't want to give away the ending.
No.
In fact, I'm not going to show
we
you.
know it's a suicide. We know it's a suicide mission, and he basically wipes him out. He's a bit of Wolverine in terms of he gets shot to pieces. He gets just the hell beat out of him, and he's still standing. And you're like, oh, a little bit like Wolverine. He's going to regenerate somehow. Now we don't know, if he's doing it on his own or how it's all going to, come out. But he's an interesting character. They talk about he considers himself a god. Right. And that's the interesting byline. And they're like, well, are you or are you not? And it's a debate throughout this. All I'm going to say is they do address it towards the end of the book. You got to read it to find out. It ends absolutely fantastic. You do get backstory on it. But this entire mission scene, this is a fantastic book. I enjoyed it from the moment I opened it up to the very last panel. There was nothing in this book that I went, wow, I wish they would have done something better. I too had backed it on Kickstarter, and I'm so glad I picked up the paper copy because I didn't know they were releasing it in comic form either. But I'm glad I did. This is a fantastic book, and I can't wait to have the collected version when it comes out.
So I will say I got to show this one panel. I blew up on one panel just because it's awesome. This dude pulls a gun, and I almost said Keanu, and the Berserker character, throws his head back, but he still gets his nose, the tip of his nose blown off. Just like, holy crap, that is just a cool picture. It's just so cool. So yeah, I will give this rating wise, man, I'll go full boat 9.7 because I love the story, love Ron Garney's artwork. I'm a big Ron Garney fan. So that alone, I can't wait for next issue. Since I backed it, they're sending us the digital ones anyhow. So yeah, who am I kidding? I probably want to read them every month because I want to know what happens. Yep. Great cliffhanger ending. Explains a little bit, but leaves you really wanting more. I wish they were out because I would just sit down and read the whole thing. Oh yeah. So I'm going to give it, because 9.7 is not a real CGC number, I'm going 9.8. 9.8. Fine. I'll go 9.8. I'm also going 9.8. This was as close to a perfect first book as you could get. There really isn't anything that I would change. If it was a little bit longer, I would have went 10.0 because, I mean, it was literally, this is the best book that I have read in a long time. This was absolutely fantastic. I know that I'll be reading number 1 over and over again. I can't wait for the second issue to come out. I really want the collected version. Avengers can go away. I'm going to probably start dropping a bunch of my Marvel books because these two that we just reviewed are so much better than the stuff that Marvel is putting out right now. Yeah. All I'm going to say is I'm going to start spending my money elsewhere. This is high quality stuff that I can't wait for. Awesome. And little personal news for me, as everybody knows, I had my first man campaign on Indiegogo. It's on in demand, so you can still get the book. Great news is it's at the printer, so I should be getting them back within a couple of weeks so I can start doing fulfillment in April like I said I would. The First Man Program book, which is like the behind the scenes making of, I'll be getting that back from the printer next week. So I can't wait. I'll do an unboxing video. I see all the perks sitting over there as they're starting to arrive. Yep. So I've got a feeling I'm going to be spending some time over at the Smith household working. I'm cracking that whip like there's a whip. There's a way. That's right. I'm going to call up his wife and be like, I need to borrow your whip. So I'm going to have to crack it a little bit over here. Yeah. But we will be back on Friday. And on Friday, we will break down Superman and Lois, episode 3. Yes, we know it came out last night. We should do it today. But that's what we say Fridays for. Yeah. And it gives everybody a chance to watch it because we like to spoil things. Yeah, head over to our YouTube channel. We're starting something a little bit different now.
we're starting to do YouTube Shorts. It's a new thing that they're doing, where we're taking some of the new books, and we just did a few of them today, and we're going to do a quick flip through the books right when we get them, and then we want to hear from you because we're not going to, like today I got like 14 books. We don't have time to review 14 books. But we want to know which ones you guys want us to review. So do some of the quick flips. It'll give you a chance to check out some of the art, and leave us a comment to say which ones you guys kind of want us to review. And whoever whichever ones we get the most responses from, that's the ones we're going to review.
Yep, pretty much.
So go to our YouTube channel. The link will be below. Sign up and subscribe. That's why whenever we go live, you guys will get notifications, and if not, we'll start getting. We've got a regular, so Wednesdays is 7 o'clock, Fridays happy hour 4 o'clock. Yeah, so join us for that. But then check out on our page all the YouTube Shorts and see which ones you kind of want us to review for you.
And this coming Monday is Dan Fraga on our Monday interview show, so we'll be talking with Fraga Boom.
Yeah.
So join us for that. We'll talk about Black Flag, his current project, and more. So until next time, which would be Friday for happy hour, thank you for joining us. Like Dennis said, hit the subscribe button, little notification bell down there in the corner so you're notified when we go live. And we will catch you guys
on Friday with our new beers that we're going to show you.
Oh, yeah. Man, I drink that early on a Friday afternoon, and I want to go to bed at like 7 o'clock because I'm a lightweight. And that's what the Bud Light.
I've got a special one prepared for Friday.
Oh, do you?
I do. It's already ready to go. It's chilled.
Oh, you know what we should do? Great idea before we sign off. This is how we have to do Fridays from now on. After this Friday, on Wednesday, we go to Harris Teeter, right down the road. We pick out the same beer, and we flip back and forth weeks. So we're drinking the same thing for the first time on that Friday, seeing how we each like it. Same beer.
Oh, so you mean you have to
that?
drink my dark one, and I have to drink your Zima? Okay.
It's not Zima.
Ah.
It's not Zima.
Okay, so then what we do is we do 2 beers.
No, that's a lot for an hour.
Really?
I'm not sucking down 2 beers in 1 hour.
That's true. And by the way,
I'm not 21 anymore.
After we got off the air, we found out that mine was an 11.5 APV. I said it kind of had a kick when I was like, whoa, wonder what this is. And I actually looked at it. So that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll come up. Anyway, join us for our beer on Friday and our reviews because, we've got Superman and Lois, and there's a lot of topics. We'll do some posts through tomorrow about it.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys on Friday. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.